back to Act 3, Scene 1. If we remember back, Antony was ending telling that he was that he would be love and honor Brutus just as he did Caesar, and Brutus said, "I know that he'll be on our side," and that's where we left off. Now Cassius says, "I hope we can count on him, but I still fear him, and my hunches are usually accurate." And we all know what a hunch is, right? It's when you kind of have a bad feeling about something. He's saying that he has a bad feeling about Antony. He doesn't really know if they should fear him or not. Brutus says, "But here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony. O mighty Caesar, do you lie so low? Have all your conquests, glories, triumphs, achievements come to so little? Farewell, gentlemen. I don't know what you intend to do, or who else you intend to kill, who else you consider corrupt. If it's me, there's no time as good as this hour of Caesar's death, and no weapon better than your swords, covered with the noblest blood in the world. I ask you if you have a grudge against me to kill me now while your stained hands still reek of blood. I could live 1,000 years and I wouldn't be as ready to die as I am now. There's no place I'd rather die than here by Caesar, and no matter of death would please me more than being stabbed by you, the masters of this new era." So Antony's servant was sent to Brutus to tell him that, he will honor him. But now that he's seen how they've kind of reveled in his blood, he's a little more angry and probably a little fearful, since he thinks they may murder other people. Brutus replies, "Oh, Antony, don't beg us to kill you, though we seem bloody and cruel right now with our bloody hands and this deed we've done. You've only seen our hands and our bloody business. You haven't looked into our hearts. They are full of pity for Caesar, but a stronger pity for the wrongs committed against Rome drove out our pity for Caesar. As fire drives out fire, and so we killed him. For you, our swords have blunt edges, too dull to harm you. Mark Antony, our arms, which can be strong and cruel, and our hearts filled with brotherly love, embrace you with kind love and good thoughts and reverence." Cassius says, "Your vote will be as strong as anyone's in the reordering of the government. But just be patient until we've calmed the masses who are beside themselves with fear. This will explain to you why I, who love Caesar, even while I stabbed him, have taken this course of action. I don't doubt your wisdom, each of you. Give me your bloody hand." He shakes the hands with the conspirators. "First, Marcus, I will shake your hand. Next, Caius Cassius, I will take your hand. And now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now yours, Metellus. Yours, Cinna, and yours, my brave Casca. Last but not least, yours, good Trebonius. You are all gentlemen. Alas, what can I say? Now that I've shaken your hands, you will take me for either a coward or a flattener. In either case, my credibility stands on slippery ground. It's truth that I loved you, Caesar. Nothing could be truer. If your spirit is looking down upon us now, it must hurt you more than even your death to see your Antony making peace, shaking the bloody hands of your enemies in front of your corpse. If I had as many eyes as you have, wounds, and they wept as fast as your wounds stream blood, even that would be more becoming than just joining your enemies' friendship. Forgive me, Julius. Oh, this very spot you were hunted down like a brave deer, and here you fell, where your hunters are now standing. The spot is marked by your death and stained by your blood. O world, you were the forest to this dear, and this dear, O world, was your dear. Now you lie here stabbed by many princes. Cassius replies, Mark Antony, pardon me, Caius Cassius. Even Caesar's enemies would say that the same. From a friend, it's a cool assessment, no more than that. I don't blame you for praising Caesar like this, but what agreement do you intend to reach with us? Will you be counted as our friend, or should we proceed without depending on you? I took your hands in friendship, but indeed I was distracted when I looked down at Caesar. I am friends with you all and love you all, on one condition, that you prove to me that Caesar was dangerous. Without that proof, this would have been a savage action. Our reasons are so well considered that even if you, Mark Antony, were Caesar's son, you would be satisfied with them. That is all I ask, and that you let me carry his body to the marketplace, as a good friend ought to do so. Antony continues, stand on the platform and give a proper funeral oration. Brutus, you may, Mark Antony. Brutus, may I have a word with you? And he speaks only that Brutus can hear. You don't know what you're doing. Don't you let Antony speak at his funeral? Don't you know how much the people could be affected by what he says? Brutus replies, just so that Cassius can hear. With your permission, I'll stand on the platform first and explain the reason for Caesar's death. When Antony says, I'll announce, he says only by our permission and by our conviction that Caesar should be honored with all the usual and lawful ceremonies. It'll help us more than hurt us. I'm worried about the outcome of his speech. I don't like this plan, he says to Brutus. Brutus says, Antony, take Caesar's body. You will not blame us in your funeral speech, but will say all the good you want about Caesar, and that you do it by our permission. Otherwise, you'll have no role in his funeral, and you'll speak only on the same platform as I do after I am done. So be it. I don't want anything more. Prepare the body then and follow us. Everyone except Antony exits. Oh, pardon me, you bleeding corpse, for speaking politely and acting mildly with these butchers. You are what's left of the noblest man that ever lived. Pity the hand that shed his valuable blood over your wounds, which, like speechless mouths, open their red lips as though to beg me to speak. I predict that a curse will fall upon the bodies of men. Fierce civil war will paralyze all of Italy. Blood and destruction will be so common and familiar that mothers will merely smile when their infants are cut to pieces by the hands of war. People's capacity for sympathy will grow tired and weak from the sheer quantity of cruel deeds, and Caesar's ghost, searching for revenge with the goddess 8 by his side, just up from hell, will cry in the voice of a king, havoc, and unleash the dogs of war. This foul deed will stink up the sky with the men's corpses, which will beg to be buried. So he's here, kind of praying to the gods for this curse, for the civil war to happen against all the men that betrayed Caesar. Octavius' servant enters. You serve Octavius Caesar, right? I do, Mark Antony. Caesar wrote for him to come to Rome. He received Caesar's letter, and he is coming. He told me to say to you, seeing Caesar's body, Oh, Caesar! Your heart is big. Go ahead and weep. Grief seems to be contagious for my eyes, seeing the tears in yours begin to fill. Is your master coming? Octavius' servant responds, He rests tonight with within 21 miles of Rome. Report back to him fast and tell him what has happened. This is now Rome in mourning, a dangerous Rome. It is not safe enough for Octavius yet. Hurry away and tell him so. No, wait, stay a minute. Don't go back until I've carried the corpse into the marketplace. There I'll use my speech to test what the people think of these bloody men's cruel action. You'll report back to young Octavius how they respond. Help me here. So they exit with Caesar's body.